Trent.
Welcome to the Lighthouse Transition Program. This program helps visually impaired individuals with independence and learn how to thrive on their own. However, we need to consider the importance of technology when living on our own. This generation is all about technology. Technology solves a lot of issues, and visually impaired people will need the ability to keep up and adapt. That is why this technology camp teaches students how to use the computer and how to use different softwares, programs, and apps to our advantage. This camp is led by our wonderful staff, Maureen Park, and her assistant, Yasir. I have a few questions for you, Ms. Park and Yasir. This way our viewers can understand the value of this camp. First, what is this camp all about?
Miss Park.
Careers in Technology Camp is designed to teach the students HTML, coding, and basic web design. At the end of this camp, they will be able to put together a basic web page and launch that web page.
What is the end goal of this camp?
Yasir.
The goal for this camp is to teach the students basic web design skills, including an overview of HTML, a little bit of a review of CSS, and a little overview of JavaScript. The point is that they can walk away with basic knowledge of how a web page is built, and they can use this knowledge for a future career if they wish.
Finally, how does this camp connect with Lighthouse's mission statement?
Yasir.
The Lighthouse mission statement is made up of 3 core values: live, learn, earn. Living. In technology, usually salaries tend to be pretty high, over $70,000. Learn. You learn new skill sets that can be used in the future for a variety of reasons or hobbies, or even a job. Earn. It's a rewarding experience to know how to target your audience on the web, or how to target a general market on the web.
Thank you for answering the questions, Ms. Park and Yasir.
My name is Maureen Park. I am the Access Technology Instructor for Transition.
Hi, my name is Yasir, and I am an assistant to Maureen, and a student too at Lighthouse, and I like programming.
We have several other students in the camp. We have Corey, Isaiah, Adrian, and Chris.
Hello.
Now that we understand the values of this camp, let's start and see what we are learning today. Ms. Park and Yasir, what are we learning today?
Okay, right? You got to put it on the internet. First, you need something called a domain. So a domain is basically like, Google.com. That's a domain name. It's basically the name of your website. In other words, so if we were on the internet, right, in order to get to a website, we will have to type a whole bunch of numbers in there, like 57.100.22.25. But instead, all we have to do is just type the domain name, because that's what they're there for. They're there so we don't type IP addresses. Okay, there's two types of hosting, and hosting is basically putting your site on the internet. You can do it yourself at home, or you can have a company do it for you. I recommend the company, and I'll get to that in a minute. But first, let me talk about self-hosting. So self-hosting is putting a site on the internet from your home network. You need a server such as Apache, which you can install from the Apache website, and then set it up. I'm not gonna get into that because that's a hard process. But once you have it set up, you basically open the connection, go into your router settings, create a static IP address, and then finally open a port. In this case, for HTTP, you have to open a port 80. For HTTPS, you have to open port 443. And ports are like plugs. In other words, the plug from your router to the outside world. And a static IP is an IP address that never changes. Whenever you're connected to the internet, you have something called DHCP, or Dynamic Host Protocol. And in other words, your IP changes every 5 minutes or so. This is for security purposes, but for a website, that doesn't work. You need to have a static IP. Your computer, in this case, will have to have a static IP address. So once you open port 80 on your router, your website's go. You can now type in the domain name and you'll be on your website. The bad thing about self-hosting is that your computer must be on the whole time, and also you're gonna incur enormous electric costs, electric bills especially, like just big electric bills, because your computer's on the whole time. Now with with regular hosting through a company, they give you they'll give you a control panel where you can put your website in the control panel. They'll give you the IP address to hook it to your domain name, and they'll take care of the rest for you. And the cool thing about a regular hosting company is that your site is up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. See, your house has basic internet. It's not strong, but a company has a data center, and it's basically made up of multiple computers, a lot of computers with very strong internet, with a lot of bandwidth, so they can host your website and actually make sure that it stays on the whole time. And it's usually pretty cheap, depends on which company you go for, and depends what kind of server you want. There's different scales. There's like regular, enterprise, or like corporate. But let's say for a regular person, like for just individual, like prices can range for around $3.99 to $8.99 per month. So yeah, that's hosting, and they'll do it for you. Basically, it's basically self-hosting, but they're doing it for you, so you don't have to incur the huge electric bills. And in the long run, you'll save more money by doing regular hosting, not self-hosting. Regular hosting, you'll save more money. And again, you'll save more money on the electric bill by doing regular hosting. So any questions regarding what I talked about post website production when it comes to putting your website on the internet? Any part you didn't get, so I can clarify?
No, I think I got it. Anyone else?
All right. So let's backtrack to the domain part. So like I said, the domain is like words that instead of it's words like google.com or the weather channel or the weather.com or walmart.com. Excuse me, I was trying to think of the right domain names here. So they're words, right? So we type in the words, and which leads to an IP address. If domains didn't exist, we will have to type in the IP address for the website we want to go to. For example, I used to have a website, and the IP address for that website used to be something along the lines of 87.100.22.75, and that's what you have to type. But when you have a domain name, you don't have to type that address anymore. So with IP addresses, there's two different types of IP addresses. All right, well, she's back. Okay, let's see what she has to say.
Okay, so you see here I just sent you both files as attachments.
Cool. I'll put it in.
So you'll be able to see those.
So the plan is to put them on the website. Like first, I'm doing all the HTML on Notepad, right? Now put it in the thing Google Sites, and I'll use Google Sites little drag and drop thingy to drag the links to where they're supposed to go.
Okay.
And we'll drag the content, and through that, and after that, I'll do the videos. I'm gonna contact Isaiah today, and I'll email you if anything, about any meetings as is required.
Okay, thanks.
And
I'm back.
Yeah, and he's back. Yeah, we were talking about domain names and what they mean and how they're useful.
Okay.
Almost don't remember, but yeah. And Trent's back, guys.
Yep, I see that. Okay, so Trent, do you want to record us like you did, like you were doing on Friday, or how do you want to do this?
It was fun learning with all of you today. Thank you, Ms. Park and Yasir, for teaching it so well. It is always fun to learn different ways someone can do things on the computer. This is just one of our 5 camps. Stay tuned to learn more about the other 5 camps and work experiences.